Good morning and welcome. We are about to begin the public presentation ceremony of the winners and the program of the 37th World Cultural Council Awards Ceremony, Coimbra 2022. To open the ceremony, the Vice Rector for Culture and Open Science, Professor Delfim Leão, has the floor.
Dear Rector of the University of Coimbra, Professor Amilcar Falcão, dear Deputy Mayor of the City of Coimbra, Professor Francisco Veiga, dear Executive Director of the World Cultural Council, Dr. Esteban Mezaj, dear colleagues of the Vice Rectory, and dear members of the General Council, directors of faculties and of departments that have supported us until now and are here to express precisely the same support. Dear winners of the 2022 Leonardo da Vinci, Albert Einstein and José Vasconcelos World Awards, and winners of the 2022 World Cultural Council Special Recognitions, whose identity is still confidential but will soon be announced by other speakers. So dear professors, students, thank you very much for being here. There is a Greek word, and I apologize myself for mentioning coming back to my philological roots, but there is a Greek word that I like a lot. This word is elpis, and elpis means simply hope. And it's an interesting word because a poet that lived many years ago, almost 3,000 years ago, Hesiod, wrote a very interesting myth that has as its center the word elpis. It has to do with the discovery, the process of discovering that sometimes can be difficult and can pose changes, and said that when in this process of discovery, a vase that contained all the problems and difficulties of mankind was opened, and then all those difficulties spread all over the world, until in the very last minute it was covered again, and inside the vase was kept elpis, hope. And so the question is elpis a good or a bad thing? Is hope a good or a bad thing? Hope is, of course, a wonderful thing. And that's something that we have to cherish, to keep with us, so that we can handle with difficulties. And that's precisely what hope means when it comes to science, to art, to pedagogy, to education. And this is the same hope that enabled us to, let's say, cope with the pandemics, because this meeting, this award ceremony was predicted to happen 2 years ago, in 2020, when we first started to prepare it. And then we met in January, and simply 2 months after this, everything changed in the world. And we needed, of course, to keep hope that things would become better, and we would have the conditions to fully fulfill the aims that we had. And this is what is happening now. So it was postponed in 2 years, but it made also because of this ceremony particularly special, as will be seen, as will be said and highlighted certainly in the upcoming speeches. Another expression that is certainly important and has to do with the occasion that we could use for this edition is that we are celebrating the 1,050 years that have passed since the reforms of the Marquis of Pombal, whose picture is precisely, in a certain way, heading the whole ceremony. And those reforms marked a clear turning point in the history of the university, the opening to the society, to the scientific knowledge, experimentation, and so on, to the enlightenment, so to say. And that is something that we have been celebrating during this year, and the World Cultural Council ceremony is a very special moment in those celebrations. I could say it is the very peak of those celebrations. And they also, because they follow the same motto, the same topic: create to renew. Because, to celebrate the past is not simply to call the past and live as if we should live in our days as if it were, let's say, 2 centuries or 3 centuries ago. This is not the case. We have to live in our own moment, in our own time living, and of course prepare, give our best to do what we can while we are living and prepare the future. And this is, of course, what the World Cultural Council and an institution like the University of Coimbra really represents. So it's not simply reviving the past, it's also remember the past and taking the best examples from the past, prepare and shape the future. I would also to say just a very brief words regarding the program, which will be known later on, so I won't go into much detail, but today we will know the names, the identities of the winners. It's a really special moment. This is being streamed for all over the world, so it's something that is really special. But we will know as well, we can also say, the program that is predicted for the 29th and the 30th of November. So in the 29th, we will have the pleasure and the honor to host not only lectures by the 3 international winners, but also by a Nobel Prize, who will present us, of course, a special lesson, a lecture, but more than this, a way of living, of being in life, of giving that example and show extremely in a very positive way that it is possible to make amazing things as long as we are committed to our work, as we are serious, as we believe, and as we keep hope. So in the 29th of November, we will be able to host those lectures, and we are, of course, all invited to take part in that. And in the next day, at the 13th of November, will be the award ceremony itself, so where those awards and the special recognitions will be given, and with, of course, the seriousness that those moments really demand. And I'm about to finish, and of course, as I am a classicist, I would like to pick up again the initial idea. As we used to say, this is the ring composition, to pick up the initial idea. And the initial idea is, of course, again, resume the idea of LPs, of hope. As long as we keep hope, as we keep believing, as we are able to act as human beings and act together and put science, education and culture together, we can do certainly amazing things. That's what the winners did, and that is precisely what we would like to celebrate here. And of course, basing on their examples, give strength to those who have to struggle every single day. So thank you very much to the World Cultural Council for having given us this excellent opportunity to host this event, and to our rector who since the very first moment saw in this a unique opportunity to put Coimbra in its right place, and of course in a worldwide organization. Thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you very much. I now call upon the Deputy Mayor of Coimbra, Professor Francisco Veiga, to address us some words.
Bom dia, good morning. On behalf of the Coimbra City Hall, I start my greeting everyone in the room and to those attend through the live broadcast. We are delighted to host this event, which is being held for the first time in Portugal. To all the winners of this edition, I express my sincere congratulations. I am sure it is a very fair and deserved recognition. We will be awaiting the official World 37 ceremony of the World Cultural Council, programmed for the 29th and 30th of November. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, I invite the Executive Director of the World Cultural Council, Dr. Esteban Mezaj, to announce the winners of the 2037 World Cultural Council Awards.
Distinguido señor rector, Amílcar Falcao, distinguidos miembros de la universidad, distinguido señor vicealcalde, periodistas, miembros de la prensa, bienvenidos todos. It is my privilege an honor on behalf of the President of the World Cultural Council, Professor Sir Fraser Stoddart, to announce the 2022 World Award winners. This is a very special moment that we have been waiting for months. The jury has been making its task very precisely during the vast first part of the year. And now that we know who are the winners, we are going to share this with the university community and with the whole world. Throughout history, we have been fascinated to know about our origins, the very composition of the universe and the matter. And since the first natural philosophers in Ionia in the 6th century before Christ, we have been searching, discovering, better understanding what is the world we are in. Of course, the knowledge has increased enormously, and there is still a long road ahead of us. Recognizing the Albert Einstein World Award of Science 2022 in the shoulders of Victoria Caspi, an astrophysicist from Canada, from the University of McGill. She has devoted a long life of research in the very field of astronomy and astrophysics. Understanding this gives us the opportunity to enhance our knowledge of the complex anatomy of the universe. Nowadays, we have better eyes and ears to study our enormous environment. Professor Caspi has used all the available scientific instruments to pursue her research. In this very area of specialization, magnet stars, maybe some of you never heard about those, magnet stars, belong to one of these very privileged areas of research she has chosen. These very distant, dense, stellar objects, let's say compact celestial bodies, that is a variety of neutron stars, can help us to understand better different stages and moments of the evolution of the universe and the whole world. So, together with this, she is now not only a leader on her own area, she is also devoted to students, to educate, and to mentor future astronomers and astrophysics in these areas. Last but not least, she is now one of the leading experts in a kind of what is called fast radio burst. That is an enormous, interesting area to understand, to discover this puzzle, why these waves are arriving, and we can, of course, register them, and with that we receive more information of our universe. So it's an honor to have the opportunity for the Council, and now with the hosting of Coimbra University to receive next November Victoria Caspi. She will be lecturing here. She will receive the award in the hands of our president and our rector, and to share with her her knowledge of our universe. Let's now announce the 2022 José Vasconcelos World Award of Education. This educational prize will be granted to Claudia Mitchell. She is member of the Faculty of Education in the McGill University in Canada, and she has been working in very specific and not so easy areas of our whole educational task. Education is the viga maestra, the main beam of the architecture of society. So her knowledge and research has been helping us to develop a better understanding on very delicate issues that are, of course, present in nowadays world. We are all conscious that it has been largely neglected, education in the whole sense, because it requires tireless efforts that involve the active participation of all the actors in society. We are aware of the different crises the world faces today: economic, social, political, behavioral. But maybe the most threatening crisis is the crisis of thought, la crisis del pensamiento. Thought precedes actions. So it is in our educational system that we need to concentrate our studies and deeds. It is in this regard that the achievements of Claudia Mitchell excels with honor the very important educational mission summarized in the very motto, the very goal of our university community: to really become universal, to really touch all the differences, all the varieties, the diversity that is part of our world. For this reason, she has devoted herself to be a voice to the unprivileged. And with that, we have been expanding our views, how we can actively repair the fragile tissues of our society. Because, as we are very aware of all the challenges we have in gender issues, in youth needs, etc. So she is a powerful voice, very active. She has focused on the development of rural schools, college, universities, and communities. A very important part of her work is happening nowadays in some African countries like Rwanda, Kenya, Ethiopia, and of course South Africa. in all this, Claudia Mitchell, she has been a leader for a real understanding to promote participation, collaboration among researchers, communities, and political authorities. So, to understand this, the promotion of teacher education is essential, and especially also connected in her duty to establish programs to fight epidemics that are still alive, especially in Africa, like HIV and AIDS. So, a natural leader, an actress of change and well-being throughout her career. We are very proud to have her in all this outstanding list of educators of the world. And last but not least, arts. The Leonardo da Vinci World Award of Arts. How important is art in our society? Do we really give value to it in all the sense? Maybe there are big challenges there. Maybe we need to understand better the mental frame of artists and architects. So, Jeannie June is the winner. She is the winner of the Leonardo da Vinci World Award of Arts 2022. She is an architect, but with a broad view. She belongs to the Gail and Ira Drucker Dean of the College of Art in Cornell University in the United States. And she has been working in what we can translate as the poetry of the shape, that is architecture, the poetry of the form, infusing spaces with beauty, with history, and with this magnificent virtue that Delphine has reminded us today, hope. Architecture, physical forms can help us to increase hope in our society, in our world, even though we face enormous challenges. Together with this, she has been an advocate for accepting diversity, promoting equity and inclusion in all her areas of work and research. She has also brought spaces of peaceful contemplation, something that we need also to take into account. In the silence of art, in the silence of contemplation, sometimes we can have good answers to our studies. She also has promoted new forms of architectural practice that are very inspiring, very connected with the environment, with new consciousness, and of course with sustainability. So, her work will be recognized this very year. And as you can see, and this is a remarkable coincidence, it's the first time in our history of the Council that we have 3 women in this honor place of awards. So I think what a good place to be here in Coimbra in November. Keep yourself updated of the news that will be coming in the following weeks and months before we can be all together in the awarding ceremony on the 30th of November. So with this announcement, now we discovered, let's say, the mystery of the winners. And why is this? Just to finish. Because the winners of prizes, the people that are devoted for decades to a work on science and education and arts, are role models, and also are the actors that can help us, the actors and actresses that can help us to redesign the future. And this is what we want. So thank you all for being here. I think you will have all this information, not only in English, but also in Portuguese, for easiness, you know, in the big understanding. And again, thank you, Coimbra, for being our distinguished and remarkable host. Thank you, Rector.
Thank you very much. Now to announce the winners of the special recognitions of the 37th World Cultural Council Awards ceremony, the Distinguished Rector of the University of Coimbra, Professor Amílcar Falcão, will now take the floor.
Deputy Mayor of Coimbra, Professor Francisco Veiga, dear friend, Executive Director of the World Cultural Council, Dr. Esteban Mezaj, Vice Rector for Culture and Open Science, Professor Delfim Leão, Vice Rector for Research and Doctoral Studies, Professor Claudia Cavadas, Pro-Rector for Planning, Professor Patrícia Pereira da Silva, members of General Council of the University of Coimbra, directors of faculty and departments, winners of the 2022 Leonardo da Vinci, Albert Einstein, and José Vasconcelos World Awards, winners of the 2022 World Cultural Council Special Recognitions, professors, students, journalists, to all who are present in the room and to those who are following us by streaming. It will be a great pleasure to host the 37th award ceremony of the World Cultural Council in Coimbra, and I'm deeply honored to announce today the special recognitions 2022 in science, education, and arts. The University of Coimbra is a living example of cultural sustainability. After more than 7 centuries, no organization can survive and remain dynamic if it does not have the capacity to continually recreate itself. This is one of the reasons why we have chosen the slogan, Create to Renew, in the same year that we celebrated the 250th anniversary of Pombalino reforms and the way they marked the organization of teaching in conformity with the new pedagogical currents that were being implanted in Europe. Next year, we will celebrate the 10th anniversary of UNESCO World Heritage Classification of the University of Coimbra. However, we are not just the old World Heritage University. in a worldwide restricted group of 5, but only one classified on account of its tangible and intangible assets. Therefore, we can proudly say that the University of Coimbra aspires to and inspires culture. Culture is life. That is the reason why the University of Coimbra is highly committed with the United Nations Agenda 2030 and the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, involved in this agenda. We make this commitment because we want to be an example for the young and for society in general. We do so because we believe that it is the only road capable to guaranteeing the future of generations that will follow us. The University of Coimbra is the first higher education institution in Portugal to make a strong commitment with SDGs. This position is globally recognized, and it is no coincidence that the leadership of the University of Coimbra has figured in the last few years in the Times Higher Education Impact Rankings. For all the above reasons, I may say it again. It is a great honor for the University of Coimbra to receive the 37th award ceremony of the World Cultural Council. I will now announce the special recognitions 2022 in science, education, and arts. In science, Filipa Bessa, Joana Ferreira, João Peça, Paulo Rocha, Sérgio Domingos. In education, Ana Dias Fonseca, Hugo Gonçalo Oliveira, Rui Cardoso Martins. And in arts, Eddie Clayson Freitas, Joana Antunes, Carlos Azevedo, João Crisóstomo e Luís Sobral. Coimbra University is extremely proud of the innovative work that these young researchers have been developing and of the way it shapes the present and prepares the future. The 37th award ceremony of the World Cultural Council is a major event in the long-lasting history of the University of Coimbra, which will take place on November 29, 30, and in whose very rich program I invite the whole community to participate. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Now I would like to ask the previous speakers to join Professor Amilcar Falcão on stage, please.
Se calhar à frente para a foto, assim.
The speakers are now available to answer questions from the media. Please stand up, identify whom you are addressing, and your questions can be in Portuguese or English.
E quantas pessoas estão à espera de receber nestes 2 dias?
Em relação à importância do evento para Coimbra, obviamente que é, como foi referido no meu próprio discurso, é um evento de enorme dimensão e visibilidade internacional, que tem passado por grandes instituições pelo mundo fora e, portanto, para nós é um orgulho poder receber este evento aqui em Coimbra, enfim, com todos os nomes que já foram anunciados, quer os nomes dos 3 prémios, Albert Einstein, José Vasconcelos e Leonardo da Vinci, enfim, e portanto acreditamos que nos dias 29 e 30, com as sessões que vão existir, envolvendo pessoas de elevado gabarito, para a Universidade de Coimbra será um momento único, que nós ansiávamos que tivesse sido em 2020, mas infelizmente por causa da pandemia só pode ocorrer agora. Relativamente à dimensão e a outros detalhes, eu passaria a palavra ao professor Delfim Leão, que poderá complementar alguma informação.
Muito obrigado, Sr. Reitor. Enfim, em relação à cerimónia do dia 30, propriamente dito, naturalmente que a lotação estará limitada à capacidade que a própria sala tem, e a sala será a Sala dos Capelos, que é a sala mais nobre da Universidade, o que significa que entre os cadeirais, naturalmente, e a teia, teremos um máximo de 200 pessoas, naturalmente, pessoas que serão convidadas, ligadas, enfim, aos próprios premiados, enfim, às representações institucionais, políticas, militares e, naturalmente, às áreas em particular, além das faculdades, que foram objeto, digamos, quer dos prémios internacionais, quer dos reconhecimentos especiais. No dia 29, realmente nós temos, enfim, a grande felicidade de poder contar com esta parceria com o município de Coimbra e, portanto, essa parte digamos, das sessões especiais irão decorrer no Convento de São Francisco, portanto, e aí, digamos, poderá variar digamos, a audiência por cada sessão, mas a expectativa é que nós tenhamos centenas de pessoas a assistir, portanto, ou a toda a programação, ou naturalmente mais convergente para a área concreta, digamos, de cada um dos premiados.
Does anyone have more questions? I don't think so. Thank you. Thank you very much for your presence, and to those who are joining us online, we invite you to see the ceremony program on the touch screens. The session is now closed.
Subrayando cada uno da lo que representa el evento, todo esto está en torno a la